we have next Tiffany. Tiffany is completing her master's degree with us. She was doing this while also working at University of Maryland College Park, and eventually she'll get out of the University of Maryland and into an IO job that she will fall in love with, hopefully very soon. She's also completing her Global IO Psychology certificate. Tiffany is going to present on her experience, all of our experiences, and visiting it with Houzz.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. My name is Tiffany Coates, and the company that I'll be presenting on is Houzz. I'd like to give a special thanks to my co-author, Allegra, and the Houzz panel. Tonight, I will begin with information on the panel speakers. I will discuss Houzz's industry, culture, global engagement, and wicked problems. I'll mention lessons learned, surprising information, and topics I'd like to learn more about. Finally, I'll discuss my takeaways. In March, I participated in a virtual meeting with Adi Tatarko and Anna Harris. Ms. Tatarko is the co-founder and CEO of Houzz, which she started with her husband as a side project in 2008. Ms. Harris is the head of people and has worked at Houzz for 4 years. Houzz is a private company that provides online access to tools and resources for home renovation and design. The community consists of over 40 million users and 2 million professionals. Houzz employs over 1,800 people in 12 offices worldwide. Houzz, valued at USD 4 billion, monetizes by charging a fee for the Pro program, receiving a 15% commission from marketplace items, and selling home and decor ads. They have acquired 2 companies, Garden Web and Ivy Mark. Culture at Houzz starts with its leaders. Employees, who are called Houzzers, are selected to carry on this culture. Houzzers work as a team. Their culture is shaped from creativity, innovation, fearlessness, and trust. Despite its growth, Houzz maintains its startup spirit and remains family-centric. One of the most important aspects is their Friday lunch. This lunch encourages team bonding and provides a space for collaboration. Every week, they welcome new Houzzers and celebrate birthdays with their favorite desserts. Food plays a crucial role in bringing people together. When 30% of Houzz's traffic came from outside of the United States, Ms. Tatarko contacted other founders for guidance on globalization. The key is choosing correct leaders, so they hire local managers first. They build the community before monetizing. Houzz has localized websites in 15 countries. Ms. Tatarko told us about a time when she visited the Italian and German teams in Berlin. The Italian way was heartfelt stories and rewards, while the German way was numbers and graphs. She asked these teams to combine these aspects, and by doing this, she created one culture. The Houzz panel identified 2 wicked problems. The first is COVID-19, which requires managing conflicting guidance from authorities. They also want to maintain collaboration and ensure Houzzers feel looked after while at home. Each team must be supported differently based on its functions and its culture. The second is elevation of the company. The world is constantly changing and they must adapt. Decisions on future directions can be hard because of time and money spent on past decisions. It's important to have the correct processes and people in place for the next stage. One thing that surprised me about our meeting was how open Ms. Tatarko and Ms. Harris were. Houzz is a private company and is not required to disclose as much information as they provided. Secondly, out of the 10 companies we met with, Houzz was the only one with a female CEO. This fact in itself was not surprising to me. However, what was surprising was the significant growth in women leadership. Last year, NASDAQ hosted an event where 70 women CEOs were present. Although this year's event was canceled, 100 were invited. So what are some lessons that I learned? I learned how culture is created and maintained in an organization. Leadership is important in deciding what culture is because it trickles down to everyone else. Selecting people who can spread that culture is how it's maintained throughout expansion. It reinforced lessons regarding the importance of fostering connections with other people and networking. The final lesson was to always be flexible and innovative. It's important to bounce back when your first plan, second plan, and possibly even your third plan falls through. This program has prepared me in several ways. I learned how to do deep dive research using non-traditional methods. Typically, we look to journals for information. However, this experience allowed me to get creative when searching for key terms and when choosing what websites to gather information from. It also provided me with the knowledge of the role that ethics plays within our field and how that may or may not differ from the ethics that organizations practice. The IO program as a whole taught me skills such as creating selection procedures and survey design, which we discussed during our meeting with Houzz. Although I learned a lot about Houzz over the course of the semester, there are areas I would love to know more about. During our meeting, Mr. Tarko and Ms. Harris mentioned having an internal research team that designs surveys. I would love to know more about the surveys, the data they collected, and how it's analyzed. Secondly, although Houzz was intentional in developing their culture, I want to learn if more companies are this detail-oriented when creating theirs. It would be useful to compare other organizations' strategy for creating and maintaining culture. Many people often ask, what is IO psychology? Throughout this experience, I have found that although they might not know exactly what we do, our work is applicable to businesses like Houzz. We just have to know how to market ourselves. Thank you.